All right, so the Baseball Writers of America put out the Hall of Fame ballot.
Okay.
It is the final year for Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and Sammy Sosa. If we put up the poll, who would you put in the Hall of Fame? Bonds, Clemens, Sosa, or Alex Rodriguez, who's his first time on the ballot? All of them or none of them? How would you vote?
I would put none of them in. No, just wouldn't. Even though the voting gets, it feels like younger voters covering the game aren't as bothered by steroids as some of the old school guys like me are. And I don't want to hear the argument that Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he started using. If you're a Hall of Famer, you don't need to use. Roger Clemens was not a Hall of Famer before he started using in Toronto. He wasn't. Red Sox got rid of him. A-Rod? No. Sammy? No. Yeah, McLovin.
Why is Sammy Sosa's vote total so much lower than Bonds and Clemens?
Because I don't think people thought that he was a real player to begin with. When he started out, I think, with the White Sox. I think his first home run was off Roger Clemens, if my memory serves me correctly. But, there was a great curiosity with Sammy, but he didn't play in meaningful games. But I don't know what goes into, when the voters decide what they like and don't like about, a candidate, that's their personal, could be interaction. It could, how they feel about winning. Could be all-star appearances. It could be what your team did. I mean, there's so many things that you can factor in here. But A-Rod, no, not at all. Even though he could have been a great player without it. Can't do it. Bonds can't do it. Clemens can't. Curt Schilling is the one who should be in the Hall of Fame. Out of all of those guys, Curt Schilling's a Hall of Famer. And, politics is involved in this. And, how he acts off the field or how he handles himself. And look, if the Baseball Hall of Fame factors that in and wants to factor in who you are as a person, then you have every right to keep him out, if that's how you feel about it. But to me, if you didn't know Curt Schilling's politics, he's a Hall of Famer. I know his politics. He's still a Hall of Famer. Yeah, McLovin.
I'm seeing some early buzz that Alex Rodriguez is not quite getting the same treatment as Bonds and Clemens, that he might have a chance at some point. His first year on the ballot.
He got caught twice.
I know. Why would he be treated differently?
I think it's because Shark Tank, Sunday Night Baseball, dated J-Lo. Like, he was on a PR campaign. Like, hey, look at me. Clemens not in the media. Bonds isn't in the media. Sammy Sosa not in the media. A-Rod's right there. Can't miss him. Fox post-game baseball. Yeah, see.
I don't know that he is getting treated differently. It feels like the kind of thing that, A-Rod leaks. Like, hey, I hear I got a chance of getting in, huh? And all of a sudden there's this groundswell of support of oh, yeah, it's okay, A-Rod, I could see that. And you get behind it. But I don't know that people, I have nothing to base this on, but I don't know that he is getting treated kindly.
Well, we're going to find out with his first vote.
He got caught twice.
I know.
He got caught once when it was not being tested for, and then another time after it was okay, everybody, we agree to not do this anymore, right? We all got caught. Nobody's cheating anymore, and he still got caught.
And then he said, well, the pressure of going to the Yankees made me cheat. You chose to go to the Yankees.
For a lot of money.
Yes.
Twice.
Yes. And that's another thing. It's consumer fraud because fans paid for these salaries. When your team got this guy, you're paying. When the ticket prices go up, you're paying. Artificially inflated. Yes,
Are we dancing around a bet here?
Ooh.
If Alex Rod gets in?
Okay.
Or doesn't?
Well, who's taking A-Rod?
But I got a 10-year window because I think you start out by saying younger voters might change their opinions. So he's got a long runway.
How about I give you a 5-year window?
How about we do a percentage of votes that he gets this window? Just this one. Like over under at 50%.
Oh, I'm going under.
They know they're going to have 10 years, so maybe they start a little lower and build up, like Clemens.
I'm going to say 27%.
27.2.
27%. Yeah, McLevin.
Can we play the game where I give you the other nominees the first time, and you just give me your Hall of Fame or not Hall of Fame?
Okay.
All right. We spent all morning on these names, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Jimmy Rollins.
Now, I'd have to have the benefit of the numbers.
He's a tough one.
Yeah. I would say no, but I would love to look at the numbers just to be fair to him.
Okay. Mark Teixeira, 409 career home runs.
Nice. No. Yeah, for what? How many All-Stars? 3, 4?
Something like that, yeah.
No,
Not many.
He's not.
Jonathan Papelbon, 10th all-time in saves. Some big ones.
I think he's in the vicinity. He's not in Cooperstown, the city limits. He's on the outside.
Rancho Cooperstown.
Rancho de Cooperstown.
Nice reference. Nice callback.
Rancho Cooperstown.
I would say no for Jonathan Papelbon.
Okay. Jake Peavy.
No.
Did we just stumble on something? Cooper's Village, like a little offshoot of Cooperstown, where
I don't
like
know.
those who can't get in for whatever reason.
Can you have a Hall of Fame-ish on the outside of Cooperstown? Like Cooper's Village, and that's for the Hall of Good.
And then maybe there's this other part that's like right on the other side of the tracks. That's where all the steroid guys go.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Shady.
Yeah. It's a little more dingy, but
Shadyville.
yeah.
Yeah.
A few more. Tim Lincecum.
He was fascinating, but for not a long period of time.
Joe Nathan, number 8 all-time in saves. Actually ahead of Kimbrel and ahead of a few other famous guys. Carl Crawford.
No.
Prince Fielder.
No.
And Justin Morneau.
More no chances in hell.
The big one that I didn't mention was David Ortiz. It's the first time on the ballot.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll have any problems with the PED stuff from 2004?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe. But not enough to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. Yeah, Paulie.
We were discussing Sosa. Does the cork bat incident almost like a double for him? He's got the steroid allegations, but there's no doubt about the cork bat. It's almost like he's got 2 cheating scandals.
Yeah.
Sosa, by the way, his numbers are so freakish. A-Rod has 3 seasons, A-Rod, of 50 or more home runs. Barry Bonds has 1 season of 50 or more home runs. Sosa has 3 seasons of 60 or more home runs. He had a season where he had 63 home runs and finished 9th in the MVP voting.
Baseball has itself to blame, though. If these players have a problem, it shouldn't be with the writers. It should be with baseball. Because you had a players' union that looked the other way. Baseball may have looked the other way. Everybody's hitting home runs. Salaries are climbing. Everything's great. But, you come to the pearly gates, and all of a sudden the baseball writers playing God, and they're going, nope, yep. Yeah, Todd.
What would you give players that miss out on the Hall of Fame and they're in that little village outside of Cooperstown as opposed to a bust? What might be a nice consolation honor as far as a gift?
I don't.
Like a balloon with like their face on it? Like what would you do instead of a bust?
I don't know. I gave you the outskirts. I didn't have it thought
But they
out
should
where-
still get
Yeah.
some type of, right? Some type of physical item that can be displayed.
So you didn't have an answer for this joke.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I was hoping you could bail me out on that one.
Yes, McLevin.
We were debating on this side of the glass. Is it fair that voters vote for the guys they like? Schilling, they did not like. Terrell Owens was the other one we brought up. Didn't make it in his first year, even though he's a top 3 receiver of all time.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No, but Ted Williams hit 400 one year and didn't win the MVP. And I think the 2 writers who covered the Red Sox didn't vote for Ted Williams. That's unheard of. Yes. Do they play favorites? I'm sure they do. Consciously, subconsciously. Yeah, Paul.
Well, you could look at John Smoltz versus Kurt Schilling. John Smoltz is a very good regular season pitcher, one of the better ones. But in postseason, John Smoltz has 15 wins. He's 15-4, and his ERA was 2.67. He's an all-time postseason pitcher, Smoltz.
Yeah.
And he went in first ballot because he's likable. He was good with the press. he keeps his politics to the side. Curt Schilling is also a very good regular season pitcher and an all-timer. He's 11-2 in the postseason. His career ERA is 2.23, by far the best of all time for a guy who pitched a lot of innings. And he didn't sniff the Hall of Fame for years.
Yes,
When John Smoltz is usually pointed to as the guy sort of blowing up the Curt Schilling's not in because of his politics argument.
Wait,
John Smoltz and him have very similar politics.
Yeah.
But it's not held against John Smoltz.
Well, John doesn't say things about threatening the life of Hillary Clinton or being somebody who agrees with somebody who says some things about violence.
No, I know. I definitely know that. They don't say the same things, but they vote along similar lines.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with if John Smoltz didn't want to get vaccinated, okay, that's his political stance on it, and that's fine. I mean,
he's not talking about like Curt Schilling did the whole lynching journalist thing.
Yes.
It's like, oh, and by the way, but vote for me for the Hall of Fame, okay?
Yeah.
It's like, no.
I don't think Schilling cares now. I think he's just gotten to the point where why invest in this? And Bonds may say the same thing, or Clemens. I'm guessing it's really important to Bonds and Clemens just to say, we are Hall of Famers. There's a lot of people who are dirty in the Hall of Fame, and we should be in the Hall of Fame. But they're not involved in the game. Smoltz is involved in the game. I think the A-Rod part of this is the interesting part. I mean, Mark McGuire's a hitting coach, but we don't talk about Mark. He's not in the public eye anymore. And Mark's not a Hall of Famer, but, for obvious reasons. But still, you start to look at this and you go, okay, he is and he isn't. It's going to be, A-Rod will be interesting to see how the voters view him. And if he's had this public makeover, that might help him. Yeah, McLevin.
I know that game where guys say, take me off the ballot. Harry Carson did that with the NFL. Yeah, I don't want to go into the Hall. Yeah, right.
Yeah.